All right. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences. I am the CEO and founder of PIMS, Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences. My name is Ibrahim Siavash, and you will get to hear about me and from me right after I give up the mic to Mariam Sharif, who is going to be your tutor, your lecturer for trauma informed cognitive behavioral therapy. Just a few house rules. Keep yourselves muted at all times. Today's class is a public class, so we just want to keep things civil. There will be people in the class who are not paid students of TI-CBT, Trauma Informed CBT. So I'll be there to monitor activities of everybody. The team is there also to facilitate you guys. Um, I have prepared the slides for you guys. All the introduction will be after an hour. The first hour, we are going to sample TI-CBT. I'm going to talk to you in the second half about the fee structure, about every questions that you might have, about Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences, about Global Institute of Modern Psychology Malaysia, that is the accrediting body of our courses. So I personally teach three courses. On Tuesdays, I teach the DBT skills. On Wednesdays, I teach the hypnotherapy. And on Thursdays, I teach the NLP life coaching skills. But when it comes to trauma informed CBT, I found someone who is even better and more skilled, more knowledgeable. That is Mariam Sharif. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand over the mic to Mariam. She's going to introduce herself and start with lecture number one. In the second half, I'll be back and you can ask me questions. Make sure you benefit the most. Today is technically lecture number one of TI-CBT, Trauma Informed CBT. Okay. So if you have any questions before Mariam leaves by 8, please make sure you ask anything that you would like to ask by 8. Mariam has to go today early. In the second half, I'll take over and talk to you guys about the orientation of PIMS and Global Institute of Modern Psychology, Malaysia. All right, Mariam, I am making you host, and you can, whenever you're ready, you can take over.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Hello and welcome all to the third cohort for TI-CBT. So my name is Mariam Sharif and I am going to be your trainer. So I'm going to start off with my introduction um, and hopefully get to know some of you very, very soon in the classes as well. Walaikum Assalam. I would love it if you guys, do type in the chat box that tells me that you guys are interacting with me and you guys are listening and you guys are here with me right now as well. All right. So to start off, I am an MS Clinical and Counseling Psychologist. I have graduated from Beacon House National University. I reside in Lahore and practice in Lahore. And I have done multiple trainings with Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences, actually, all of them. I love all of them. Sir Ibrahim is one of the best instructors out here in the field. And I look forward to knowing all of you. I look forward to knowing your backgrounds as to what interested you into CBT, as to what interested you in the psychology background. And moving forward, I just want to tell you guys as to why we chose this to do CBT in the first place, which is one of the reasons was that while there's DBT, NLP, and hypnotherapy, one of the other modalities that is, in demand that also helps a lot, that also gives transformations to the clients and to ourselves is CBT. And CBT is, as you all know, heavily empirical research backed, and it also speaks to me a lot. It resonates with how we work and how our nature is actually, which is why I have spent a lot of time and a lot of trainings on getting more and more educated and more trained into CBT. The reason this is called trauma informed lens CBT, right, is that while it's going to be very emphasized throughout the lecture today, what I really want to tell you guys, that because it is very close to my heart, and that is that we do not talk about the nervous system enough. We do not talk about the physiological aspect of the thoughts, the emotions, and the behavior. We don't talk about the impact that these things have on our reality, right? One reality that exists in our mind, but the other reality that exists where we are right now physically, right? And we do not talk about that enough. We do not talk about that impact enough. We do not talk about, and we do not realize the immense heaviness that comes with it. So when I started, designing this course, my whole focus was on this, that my students, the ones I train as my practitioners for CBT, you are not only skilled, but you can also, work with people who have trauma, right? This does not make you trauma informed therapist, but it does give you a knowledge, a head start. Okay. This gives you CBT foundations, and it talks about trauma in a lens, right? So, all the concepts of CBT will be taught not only with the lens of trauma, right? But it will also be taught with the lens of our culture. Okay. The Southeast Asian culture specifically, the clients that we mostly see, or the background that we mostly come from. Okay, specifically the course is designed, the demos that I have designed, the examples that we discuss are very centered to a collectivistic society. All right, and how a collectivistic society develops our beliefs, how that impacts us, how our thoughts are impacted by a collectivistic society, how how our behaviors are impacted by it, and you know um how we need to be more trauma informed about our nervous system in a collectivistic society. All right, so I will be sharing the slides with you now. All right. So it's not an introduction, it's not a sales pitch. This is for you guys to understand the very foundations that we have for any modality actually today. Okay. So this is about how this course actually thinks. This is about how this course has been designed to help you work with yourself, work with your clients, and have better understanding of everything overall. So I will not just be training you in the modality of CBT. My hope is that I make you a more person centered, a more humanistic natured therapist. Because ultimately, in today's world, that is what we need, a connection with our clients, a connection with ourselves. That the quality of our relationship, the quality of the relationship with the client and the therapist, okay, that relationship is the healing part. When we understand that, our whole perspective about everything else changes, right? So we focus on why CBT and why the relationship for us comes first. Okay. So before we begin, I just want to talk about what CBT is. And before that, we need to talk about how we do or we think, and how CBT can at times go wrong. All right. Especially in the day and age of where there's a lot of pop psychology, where there's a lot of people making different reels, different shorts, social media content on CBT, specifically different parts of CBT, it is very important to talk about these things first. So most harm in CBT happens when we are rushing any change, when we are rushing any technique, okay, when we try to fix the client, okay, when we either push the client into something that they're not ready for, okay. How would you feel if somebody keeps pushing their thoughts onto you or their opinions onto you? It irritates you, right? What if someone tells you that this is the solution to your problem, but all you want is actually to be heard, right? So this is something that we need to understand, that as therapists we do have these urges. It is okay that we want to fix it, we want to rescue them, we don't want them to feel the pain, we want to do something about it. Yes, I understand that, we all get it. However, that is where it goes wrong, because we are not their fixers, we are not their rescuers, we are their facilitators. We are a hand that they will hold while they heal themselves. We are a partner in their healing journey. It's a journey that they will have to go on their own. We are just there to facilitate the process. So the onus of fixing their problems is not on us. For example, a client is talking to you about their financial problems. It's not up to you to give them solutions on how to go about it. Like, oh, you do this business, you do that. That is not needed. You need to focus on their internal barriers, or towards their fears, as to why they're not able to come to that solution, or as to what is hindering them into coming up with a possible solution for themselves, or why they can't move forward with a certain thing, or the emotional pain of having financial problems. Okay, that is where your work is, because we as therapists, when we say we are facilitators, we are a holding hand in their journey. What we mean is that we are trying to build them a buffer. We are trying to build them tolerance so that they have different tools in their psyche, in their mental health, that they can, use to have more resilience, to have more compatibility with life, with themselves, so that they are able to deal with the problems that they have, because no one else is going to come and rescue us. No one else can solve our problems. Only we truly know whatever is going on in our lives. Even if we are telling our best friend or someone very, very close to us everything about our lives, there's a possibility, and it usually happens, that the words cannot convey 100% of the story, right? So you wouldn't know what is going on even if you think you know the entire story as a therapist. Only the client knows what they know, right? Which is one of the reasons why it's, the onus is not on us to solve the problem, because we would not fully know. Where we have to focus on is on their thoughts, their emotions, and their behavior, so that we can help them to solve their own problem, basically whatever is happening in their life. Okay. Does that make sense to all of you? Can I get a thumbs up? All right, perfect. Thank you everybody. Okay, so let's talk about how it goes wrong in a little bit more detail. So we all know that, when we're doing CBT, we are challenging the thoughts, we are changing the perspective. But when we rush it, when we do it too soon, when the client is not ready yet, that is going to harm the client. When we start to argue with their beliefs, if they say to you that, I I believe that when a black cat passes through, my day is going to go bad. Now that is their belief, and if you start to argue with them that, okay, where's the evidence for it? This is not how it happens. It's just a superstition. The thing about that is that it's not going to come across to them as you accepting them. It's going to come across as you judging them. Okay, and you are arguing whatever they believe in. Now, as a therapist, that is not our goal. our goal is to first be with them in their belief, and then gently, have a conversation about it with them as to how it is functioning for them. Okay. And for that, we need to first understand where the belief is coming from, what is the belief's function, how is it serving and protecting the client. Okay. Thirdly, when we talk about anxiety or shame or guilt or stress, and when we say that these are bad things, these are sad things, these are unhealthy things, we are going to learn in this course as well that these are not the enemy. These are patterns, and patterns have a message for us. They have a message that is conveyed through our thoughts, our behaviors, and our emotions. And when we give the message to our clients that your stress, your anxiety, your um Great. Stress, anxiety, shame, and guilt, all of these things are a problem. They go into like this triple loop of everything, right? It kind of intensifies for them because then they hear from a professional that these things are bad. And that is not the message that we want to give them, because these things also have a function. They also have a message that they're giving us, right? They're telling us that there's something wrong or there's something that is uncomfortable for us, and that we need to, deal with it, right? Then comes pushing exposure too fast, right? Now this is like when you are pushing them into doing things into, and you are recommending them activities which they are not ready for or they're hesitant about, right? And you try to convince them to do those things, and because they're not ready but they listen to you and it does not go the right way, it will hurt the therapeutic relationship. Obviously there are so many more dynamics to all of this that we're going to discuss over the course of our 15 lectures. And we will, we can't cover everything in the first lecture though. So, and then lastly, ignoring shame and ignoring safety, which is why being trauma informed is so important. Having knowledge about trauma, having knowledge about, you know nervous system safety is so important, right? Because we very easily shame ourselves, we very easily can gaslight ourselves, we can very easily invalidate ourselves, we can say very easily to ourselves that it does not exist, it's not real, it's in my head. I have so many clients saying to me that, our pain is not real, even though they might be in a lot of pain. They might say that, oh, I'm doing this for attention. It is because they've been hearing all of these things, and people around them have been telling them, oh, your problem is not real enough. Although everybody, every doctor, everybody else tells them otherwise, or even though they know in their heart as well that, it's otherwise, it's true that they are in a lot of pain. You as a therapist, when you ignore their shame and when you do not give them safety, when you do not give them validity, when you do not give them comfort, when you do not give them regard for their problem or their pain, you are also ignoring it, right? You're also not giving them safety, and safety is basically the therapeutic relationship. Giving them enough space, what we call safe space. This is it. The therapeutic relationship has to be as such that it creates that area, it creates such a space whenever they're talking to you, that they're able to let go, and they're able to process the shame, they're able to process the guilt, they're able to process the anxiety behind everything. They're able to understand their stress, the message that their inner thoughts, the inner behavior is trying to give them. Right. So something that important that we need to understand is that therapists who kind of do these things, they're not bad. Okay. They are not problematic. They are not It's not that they're not skilled. Everybody has a learning curve to it. Everybody needs time with all of this. So it's the therapist who kind of skips the foundation, which is why having the foundation is very important. Okay. Which is why this course is not mechanical. If you want to have mechanical CBT understanding, then you can, read the book, read the manuals. They're right there. You have all the resources on the internet. Here you are, you're going to experience CBT. You are going to grow with it. It's a journey that you're taking. Okay. For yourself, for your field, for your training, where you're going to learn to validate yourself, where you're going to learn how to validate your clients, you're going to learn how to validate, the thoughts, the shame, the behavior. You are going to learn how to basically safely conduct a session, right? And you're going to learn about how to um, you're going to basically learn about how to do the sessions in a way that actually transforms the client's life, and you can actually see that your work gives results. At times I know that our work is slow and that we do not instantly get results, and that sometimes the client does get worse before they do get better. Sometimes they sound cliche, sometimes they're true. Everybody's healing process is different. But um, the best therapist is the one that keeps on learning. Okay, there is no end to this field. There is always something new to learn, a new perspective to have, a new thought, a new self reflection. It is important for us to, understand how we are changing in today's world rapidly, how everything about us, how we interact with the environment, how we interact with ourselves is changing, which is why we need to, have a deeper understanding so that we can have more impactful work, and that this field means more to us in that way. Do you guys agree with me so far? Is there anyone else that agrees? Yes. No one else? Have you guys ever thought about these things in this way? Just a yes or a no. Amazing. I think that is so good. I like the energy here all the time. Not exactly, but makes sense. I mean, all of us, have. Okay, so one more question for you guys. How many of you have interacted or used um CBT before? You have? Yes. Who else? Never. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. And for those who have, can you guys share what has interested you in CBT? I'll wait for your answer actually. I would like to know what has interested you about CBT. Can you type your answer, Biha? CBD is all about facts. Like there's nothing behind the curtain. That is so true. That is exactly what started my interaction with it. Now that I heard you, I can see myself in some areas of improvement for myself, and at the same time, in my experience, I had to struggle with the clients who do not want to do the work but would expect the therapist to do the most for them. Yes, absolutely. By clearing all the clouds from the mind on the first hand and set everything at the right place. Very true. The thing about what if Ifra said, about how, the clients expect us to do the work. The best way to deal with it is by telling them in the first session about about the expectations that they have from us and what expectations should they actually have, because social media has kind of really misled and made our work really hard, and they kind of have made it difficult for us to tell the clients and explain it to the clients as to the fact that you actually have to do the work, and it's like bursting their bubble, and it takes a lot. How much you say at the end they want us to have spell on them, which would like a magic wand? Absolutely. So many times they're like, will my depression now get better now that I've taken a session? Like, what magic is there? Is there if I explain to them that you're burnt out? Yes, I'm burnt out, I know, I'm talking to you, should that not cure my burnout? And I just like, yeah, I wish I really could, I really wish I did have a magic wand, but I don't. What can I do? What can I say about that? And the expectations that people have, where they don't understand that that okay, so this is exactly the mentality that we have when we take medicine. We think the medicine is going to do the work, but for the medicine to do the work, we actually also have to rest for it, right? We have to do our part, but we don't do our part, and that is what usually gets missed by people. They think that therapy is very similar to all of those things, and it is very hurtful to our field, and there are other pain points in all of it. However, at the same time, having this conversation, it's a good start, right? It's a beginning of a discussion, and now more and more importance is being given to mental health, which is a really good thing, right? It tells us that we have more options and more um, space to talk about these things, and that kind of allows us psychologists to work much better, more in a much better environment with the client, because now they're coming um, with more information. However, downside to that is that they're talking to AIs now, and AIs are echo chambers. There are AIs that have guardrails now that do tell that okay, this is the point where you should talk to a therapist. But yeah, there's still the talking to AI in itself is emerging new problem that we have to cater to. I've had clients, discuss this where they're like, "Oh, my AI told me to, talk to a therapist, or my AI told me these are the problems I should discuss with my therapist." And at first, honestly, I was a little defensive. I was a little unaccepting. But then I, reflected and I was like, okay, no, this is a part of what we're dealing with now. AI is another is like a diary, right? And it has to be accepted into the conversation, because clients are going to come and they are going to say that AI said this, AI said that. I have had clients who have absolutely been against AI, but then they started using it, and then they now talk about how or what AI has said to them, and they want to discuss it. So if I am not giving them that safe space, then what am I doing? Right? Then I'm not doing my work as a therapist, right? So I think a lot of times we now have a third person, not a person, but a third party. I don't know what to, entity, I don't know what to call it yet, but there's a third, existing thing in the session now, which is AI. Because, you know, clients really, like, they would want to validate what they're saying. They would want to check what you are saying. Are you on the right path? Are you telling them the right things? So it is a very interesting change that is coming, which is why, again, coming to back to this, um, we need to have good foundations, right? So that we are able to understand the patterns, we're able to understand the changes, so that we can use it according to the client. And that is what I'm going to give you guys in this course. Okay. This is not going to be a manual thing. This is not something that you guys can actually, I can probably say this, that you will not get another experience like this from anywhere else, because I take care of the fact that you are experiencing it, that you are interacting with it in a way that is helping you grow with it, that you are not just learning the concept, but you can apply the concept and you can see the patterns that the concept helps with and gives barriers towards. Because once you have that, you can utilize this modality to wherever you may need to be. That is my hope for you, all of you. And I speaking from my older students who keep contacting me with their, with what they're doing, whatever questions that they have, and whenever they tell me that they're practicing it and that they're really happy with the course, it gives me a lot of joy that I have done the work. See, I have had teachers, and I was really lucky that those teachers taught me that modality in itself is good, but understanding the modality with a pattern, but also with a humanistic touch centered around human connection is very important, because that is where it stays with the client. And one of my favorite psychologists, Irvin Yalom, I think some of you must have heard about him. He emphasizes a lot over the therapeutic relationship. And now a lot of psychologists have started saying this, that the quality of the therapeutic relationship is what um, defines the progress of the client, right? Okay, so this is why the relationship comes first. Because CBT techniques only work when your client, when your when when your client and the space feels safe and they feel understood. Safe means so many things, right? Safe would mean validation, it would mean acceptance, it would mean regard. I am going to ask you guys this question right now. What do you think safe means? Just one word. Okay. What does safe mean to you in terms of a therapeutic relationship? What does it mean when we say, this is a safe space? Just one word. Like I said, validation, acceptance, regard. Client can be vulnerable, heard, reassurance, not being judged, trust. Absolutely. All of these things. When we're not being dismissed, non judgmental, right? What all of these things have in common? There's a theme to it, there's a pattern here as well. Do you guys want to answer that? What pattern do you guys see here? When we talk about validation, when we talk about being heard, when we talk about reassurance, when we talk about regard, when we talk about safety, when we talk about being non judgmental, unconditional positive regard, acceptance. App. So, in entirety, what we want is someone to accept us. Absolutely, exactly, Verda. You're right. It is the acceptance that we want. And all of these are different dimensions and dynamics of acceptance. Yes? Because if you were in a problem, right, and you are in the seat of the client, what would you want from your therapist? Above everything else, above from with their qualifications and their techniques or whatever, you would want to be heard by them, right? You would want to be understood by them. You would want to be accepted by them. You would want them to give you unconditional regard, unconditional respect, that whatever you're saying, whatever you believe in, it matters, it holds value, that they see you, that they hear you, that they understand you, right? And that is what's important. This is what you're going to give them. This is what I endeavor to give you all in this course. Absolutely, being in their shoes. Okay, now let's do a demo. So I'm not going to put anyone on the spot today, and I'm just going to model both sides, and you can just observe. Okay. This is not CBT yet, but this is what comes before CBT. This is what the relationship should look like. Okay. I'm going to start off being as the client. Okay. Honestly, I just feel a lot of pressure all the time at work. Even small things feel heavy. I'm constantly worried about saying the wrong thing. Like, what if I sound stupid or people think I don't know what I'm doing? So I usually stay quiet, even when I have something to say. And then afterwards, I keep replaying everything in my head, what I said, what I did not say, all of it. It's exhausting, but I don't know how to stop. It sounds like you're carrying a lot of pressure, even in moments that seem small on the outside. There's this constant worry about being judged or seen as incompetent. And staying quiet feels safer in the moment, but then the overthinking takes over afterwards. That sounds really tiring, like you're never fully at ease. Can you tell me a little bit more about what it's like after those meetings when you're replaying everything in your head? It's like my mind won't switch off. I keep thinking, why did I say that? Why didn't I speak up? I feel so stupid afterwards, even though nothing bad has actually happened. So, even when nothing goes wrong externally, there's a lot happening internally. Almost like you're monitoring yourself very closely. Now, that sounds very uncomfortable and, lonely. So, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to stop here on purpose. So, notice what I did not do. I did not give advice. Oh, speak up, it's okay, just try what happens. No, I didn't do that. I did not challenge their thought about them, overthinking. Okay. I did not reassure, no, nothing is going to happen, right? I did not try to fix anything, right? I tried to, I tried to just be there, but something shifted, right? This is the kind of safety that CBT depends on. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a moment to reflect quietly, not on the feelings, but on what you observed. You're not expected to do this yet, okay? But it was to see how to slow down and why slowing down is so important. All those things that you guys said, reassurance, trust, empathy, being in their shoes, acceptance, unconditional positive regard. This is what it sounds like. This is how it should sound like in a session. This is what your client first needs, the safety. When you give them safety, they're more ready to do the work. You know that magic wand that they expect us to have? This is our magic wand. This is that technique. This is that instant thing that we have, right? This is what we can give them in the very first 20-25 minutes of a session, where we listen to them with empathy. So what changed? The change was in the safety, in the openness, and in the emotional tone. And then we created the conditions where CBT can work, right? Where there's safety, where there's a signal to safety, where there's willingness to speak, right? So the Rogerian skills are not soft skills, they're actually safety skills. When we give safety to the clients, what do we have? We have a change in them. We have movement in them. And that movement is all that we need. The little teeny tiny movement is all we need with them. That is all that they need to have a shift in their life. That is where your work is impactful. So, starting off with empathetic listening. So, listening for meaning, reflecting on the emotions, and resisting the urge to fix, no matter how badly we want to fix it for them, how badly we want to give them advice, the staying with their experience. They feel hurt, you acknowledge that they feel hurt. They feel pain, you acknowledge the existence of that pain. If they're telling you that they want to kill themselves, but at the same time they want to live, you acknowledge that the pain of living is so much that they want to kill themselves. You stay with them in those times. That is what empathetic listening is about, right? That comes unconditional positive regard. It is separating the person from the problem, right? It is understanding that symptoms are actually not the enemy. They actually have a message. They're actually protective. They actually carry a pattern that we hold with ourselves. And that pattern is giving us information about who we are, where we have come from, what are we carrying, and what do we need to do forward for ourselves. What do we need as our identity, right? That is what unconditional positive regard is, where there is no shame about those things, where there's no shame about having depressed thoughts, or even having suicidal tendencies or having self-harm tendencies, right? Then comes genuineness, right? Which we also know and call congruence, where it's about being real and not performative, where it is about naming the uncertainty in things and the uncertainty of life, where you, for example, you don't know something and you don't know how it's going to go. You say it, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to be like, right? But I hope it does not go that way. You are true and you are honest with it. You're as real as you can be. See, when as therapists, we are not going to be everybody's connection, right? So how I see it, how I put it is that we all are like puzzles, and we all like fix in with the client, or how some of us can understand it, the vibes, right? Some some with some we click really well, with some we don't click well. Sometimes they don't click well with us, sometimes they they don't understand us, and that's okay. That does not make you a bad therapist. That just means that they need a different type of therapist. They need a different type of a person, because this is a very intimate, a very vulnerable relationship that they are developing with you. So they and you need to be at the same frequency, right? Because that is one of the fundamental things that is going to give safety, right? When they know and they feel that they are being understood, no matter what you, if you, even if you're doing it right, all of it, there are times when, it it might not go that way, right? And that's okay. That does not say anything bad about you. That is just the situation, basically. So when we name the uncertainty and when we are not being performative, we are also then not hiding behind techniques. Because again, if we are doing only techniques and we are being manual, we are being mechanical, and we are not utilizing the techniques for the client, rather we are fitting the client into the techniques, and that is not what we should be doing at all, right? Because that is actually hurtful to them. That is not going to give them progress. That is not going to solve or give them resolution to whatever their problem that they have come for in the session. So CBD gives you the structure to the safety that we have built with the client. And safety is not just built in the first session. Safety is being built continuously. And CBD is giving structure to that safety. And within all of that, we do the work with the client. So, what is CBT actually? It is understanding the patterns. It is about slowing the reactions. It is about building the tolerance, building the buffer, and it is about the most important thing about CBT. It's creating movement, creating learning, so that they move towards some change, right? As we have talked about today, how it's like the clients expect us to do the work. It is about helping them understand that if they do not make a movement in their life, wherever it is, wherever it is, there will be no learning. And if there is no learning, the brain will not know anything differently. And if the brain does not know anything differently, the brain is only going to know and do what it already knows, right? It's a machine. The brain is a machine. It is not there to make you happy. It is there to work. It is there to do a. It is there to function. It is there to help you survive, right? It is there to identify patterns and predictability. So, if we have to give it new learning for it to transform, that is then what is needed, right? So, what CBT is not, it is not positive thinking. It's not like, oh, it's going to be okay, just think in this way. Nope. It's not about advice giving that, okay, you do this, you do that, whatever. And it's not about saying that your symptoms are not real or that your symptoms will go away. It's about understanding the symptoms. It's about understanding the patterns that the symptoms are giving. It's about understanding how they are working in our lives right now, what functionality they're giving us, right? So CBT without empathy becomes mechanical. Empathy without structure can become stuck. I'm going to say this again. CBT without empathy becomes mechanical, because without empathy, there is no safety. And when there is empathy and then there's safety, but there is no structure, there is no technique, you tend to become stuck, because learning and transformations and progression does not happen with insight. Endless insight is not going to create movement. Endless insight is not going to create change. It is all those things combined together, the CBT journey, that is going to help have the impact that we want for them. The reason why they're coming into therapy. So, what to expect from this course and what to expect from me as a trainer, that we are going to think, we are going to develop our understanding over fixing things, over focusing very much on techniques, practice sessions, all of those will be there in every class almost, right? Wherever there's needed. But at the same time, understanding the concept so that you are able to practice it in a way that actually helps the clients in different settings that they are. That's important. Second, ethics and safety over speed. Nothing is more important to me than this. Being ethical, being safe for yourself, being safe for the client. It is the most important thing. This is why this is trauma informed lens. Third and last, formulations, which is basically understanding the patterns. That is above everything else, right? So formulation over technique, that is the core of everything, and I'm going to be emphasizing a lot on that. I'm going to help you guys have that case conceptualization so much in your in your head. The cognitive, I'm going to develop that cognitive ability with you, so that whenever you have a client, you're instantly formulating, so that you understand the patterns, you're able to identify what is going on with them, so that you can help them exactly where they need help, so that you can create that movement for them that will help them learn in that very moment, right? So understanding why we slow down is the goal for today. Understanding why CBT and why the relationship, because slowing down, pacing, safety, all of this are the elemental parts of the therapeutic relationship, of the session, of our field. We need to have this not only for the clients, we need to have it for ourselves as well. And if we don't, then we are not doing our work right. All right. So, do you have any questions? How do we deal with clients who we offer a safe space, but in return, the egoistical behavior set our safety as stake? Sometimes they do great. Please, um, can you give, if there's an example that you can give, but if not, then so the question is that how do we deal with clients who we offer safe space, but in return, the egoistical behavior set our safety as a therapist at stake? Sometimes they do create an environment for the therapist to walk on eggshells. Please guide. So in this case, first you draw a boundary. You name exactly what is happening in the session. You tell them that this is what you're doing and this is how it's impacting everything. Because if you do not give them that, then you're also, doing exactly what other people are doing in their life. And if they have come to you, and so if you want, if for that reason you lose that client because they are harming your safety, then that client was not the right client for you in the first place, right? Your safety matters the most. At times in the start, we tend to take on all sorts of clients, right? But then eventually we learn that there are certain clients that we cannot work with, and that's okay. How they have to choose us, we have to choose them. And if you have to walk on eggshells with them, then how will you help them? How will you hold the mirror for them at times? How will you give them tough love at times? How will you help them understand what is going on with them? How will you use the tough language that you need for them to understand different things, right? So hopefully I've answered your question. The first thing that you should try is setting boundary with them and helping them understand as to what they're doing. If it doesn't work, then maybe, you know referring them to someone else, because your safety matters. Your safety matters first, always. Does anyone else have any other question? There was a question that I was shared. So that CBT can be beneficial for relationship coaching because someone has adult married females as clients. So yes, CBT is very helpful because you will understand the thoughts, the behaviors, and the emotions. And then you will be able to, help them identify their patterns and help them understand what they can do, help them build their tolerance for it, help them, develop emotional reasoning, help them develop different behavioral experiments so that they can improve their life, the quality of their life. So definitely CBT is one of those modalities that is used in all walks of life, actually. As a coach, as a business coach, as a business leader, as different leaders in different industries, even in those areas. It's not just for psychologists. In CBT, how should I handle a client who is reluctant or unwilling to share their thoughts? What techniques can I use to help them open up without making them feel pressured? So the thing is that, and I don't know, it's my experience that I don't need to know what they are going. Whatever they're sharing is more than enough for us to work with. For example, if they say I don't know, that's okay. You say, okay, what brings you in? You you try to probe, but you explore with curiosity and with kindness. So if they say I don't feel well, then what do you mean by not well? Since when have you not been feeling this way? Those kind of questions which are around that problem can help you find more information. And if they're not giving you any information, if they're not ready to share, then talk about the reluctance with them. Then you talk about why they're unwilling, because then they need to understand exactly their barriers and how you can help them if they're not going to share with you. But it really depends on the level of sharing that there has to be. I hope that answers your question, Zarusa. Can you please tell what CBT actually is? Is it a talk therapy? Because the lecture started with, before we talk about what CBT is, we need to talk about how CBT goes wrong. Oh, okay, two different things. So I did talk about how we go wrong with CBT, or the things that we do wrong, because those are the things that we have, sort of heard over time here and there about, what happens in CBT, right? Or the things that we should not do or relate to CBT. Okay. And talk therapy is a very umbrella term, right? In a way, you can say all modalities are talk therapies, right? Or you can say that psychodynamic approach is a talk therapy, right? So CBT is experiential. It is with techniques. It is with protocol, right? It has its protocols. It is very strict with the protocols, by the way. So I don't know what you mean exactly by talk therapy, but that is my understanding that that's what you mean by talk therapy. Does that clarify it? What if a client has self-made stories and do victim playing and blaming shifting? How can we? That's a real trauma or something about their personality or nature, like their naivety and parents. That was shown, right? Okay, so someone has shared that what if a client have self-made stories and do victim playing and blame shifting? How can we differentiate that it's a real trauma or something personal about their personality or nature, like the negativity and unsafe patterns always show mind they're at alarming stages. First of all, we are not the judge or the executioner on the fact whether their stories are real or not. To us, the story is real. If they do not feel safe, that means that their nervous system is actually not safe. So that is where you're going to work at. It does not matter whether their stories are real or not. That comes way later, when you can, talk to them as to whether it has happened or not. But or actually, that never actually really comes, because in their reality, it's true. So for us, it's true. Okay. Because if we judge them for whatever is happening in their life, um that's that's us not giving them that space. It does not matter for us. For us, it matters that we help them learn techniques to manage their thoughts about it, learn their emotional reasonings behind it, giving them those techniques so that they're able to understand what is happening in their life. Does that make sense? Autistic kids cannot express their feelings. How we will treat them? So CBT does not work for autistic kids who are not on the higher functioning side of the spectrum, right? Because CBT does require um, for you to have cognitive abilities, to comprehend, to understand, to reflect. So it kind of does limit your it does limit your skills in that way. If you want to work with autistic kids, then that is behavioral therapy that you need more with them rather than CBT with them. CBT for autistic kids is very different, it's very nuanced, and that is not what this course is about. This course is very much foundational for it, and it's for um, you know um, for the clients who are audible, who are sensible, who are verbal, who can understand. So, all right, what if their reasoning isn't consistent? It always changes when we talk to them. That's okay. That's okay. You take it as it goes. If it's changing, you question and you challenge and you change it as it goes. Your client is going to come with everything new every single time, probably, right? The story is never the same, even if the theme is the same, right? You go along with it, you keep applying the same techniques with it. Eventually whatever impact that they need to have is actually going to work. You just need to keep at it with it, because how their mind is processing things is not something even they fully comprehend at a conscious level, but they are learning those techniques, and that is what is needed. Do you have any other questions? I want to ask, study CBT in one of the semesters. Will this course take my understanding to the next? Absolutely. See, I have done CBT in my bachelor's, I've done CBT in my master's. However, I did CBT as CBT from Beck Institute again. And the reason why I have this is because while this gives you foundation, it gives you, this is not manual, okay? This is not mechanical at all. Okay, so this is what you, these are the steps that you have to do to get into to explore the thoughts, and this is what you have to do to challenge the thoughts. No, you are going to experience it as well. You are also going to practice it. You are also going to understand it from a very collect- collectivistic culture perspective, because that is what you need in your field. That is where the bookish knowledge that you have converts into practical knowledge, actually. So what I'm trying to do is, if even if someone does not have the bookish knowledge, they get the concept, they get the practical experience of it, so that they are ready after this course ends, that they're ready to practice it, that they are so fluent with it. Does that help? All right. Are there any more questions? All right, that is wonderful. Thank you all so much. I loved the questions. I loved interacting with all of you, and I look forward to meeting all of you in the next class that we're going to have, where we can have even more conversations together. And I get a great sense from all of you that we can have some really great discussions together. So thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. I hope you got everything that you needed from the introductory class of CBT. Trauma Info Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. In this section, I'm going to introduce myself, PIMS, and GIMP Malaysia to you guys so you can have a better understanding of what you are getting yourself into. So, my approach to therapy is a little more active, more masculine. Of course, you're going to see a different vibe, different body language as you interact with me. So who am I and what is it all what is PIMS all about? So you are now getting an introduction to Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences that is accredited now by Global Institute of Modern Psychology Malaysia. I am myself enrolled in PhD program in Malaysia. I'm going to introduce myself to you now. I'm also a trauma-informed counseling psychologist. I'm dedicated to training highly skilled practitioners. I've been practicing since 2011 and now specialize in cutting-edge holistic therapeutic approaches, hypnotherapy, NLP, DBT, and my emphasis is practical, hands-on, and application for transformative experiences for the clients. So it's kind of my personality that I like things to be practical, hands-on. So the courses that you are about to take part in actually reflect that. I've been doing these courses, teaching these courses since 2016. So from 11 to 16, about 5 years or so, I practiced myself, gained the experience and knowledge. And then since 2016, when we registered Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences, the goal was to train therapists, coaches, and every other kind of professionals who deal with the healing of human beings in a more practical manner. And a lot of you might have asked me the question of, can you do these courses in person? Well, we can, of course. It's going to cost so much that most people won't have access to. We used to do it in 2016 and 17. We did this in Lahore in person. You might have seen our photographs online, and you might have seen that these courses that we did in person, they were fun, yes, but they were very expensive. And then not everybody would have access to. So in one batch, maybe about 10, 12 people would be able to join us. But then imagine having the option to teach healers in tens and hundreds instead of just 5 or 10. So that was the goal when we started these online trainings. And then it makes it affordable because for us, it is a lower cost. Then it makes it affordable for you guys. Like 12,000 per month is not a big deal to anybody if you are taking, the student fee. It's not a big deal for anybody. It's a monthly installments now. You pay, I think, that much for a Netflix subscription or something. If you put your entertainment quota with you that 12,000 rupees per month. But then again, it's complete a choice. What I aim to do when I started Pakistan Institute of Mind Sciences was allowing everybody from all over the world, someone sitting in some village in Balochistan, you know, getting an opportunity to work on themselves with the cutting edge technologies of mind sciences and psychology, and then at the same time getting licensed and getting trained to heal other people as well. It comes from my personal need. When I was going through depression in 2005, there was no one there to help me. I was living in Quetta, Balochistan. There was no one there to help. So that thirst, that lack motivated me to one day create an opportunity for other people. So that's a little bit about me. Currently, what I'm doing, as you can see in this slide, is I'm completing my PhD in from UK and Malaysia. I did an MS from GCU Lahore, and I have been practicing since 2011 when I completed my graduation in Quetta, Balochistan. Currently, I'm obviously a member of American Counseling Association. I'm a member of American Psychological Association. For the mind sciences part, I am a member of National Guild of Hypnotists. I'm a member of American Board of NLP. And I am also an active member of Counseling and Psychotherapy Central Awarding Body, CPCAB UK. If you Google Ibrahim Siavash, you will find more about me. You will find my YouTube channel. Videos are up there and everything that you need if you need to get to know about us more. We have a active graduate support program, where, of course, our website, if you right now go to PIMS courses, go to the contacts, you will find that any graduate who would like to be named on that list are available there for the clients' referrals, and everybody who is interested to get to know them and get clients, become their clients, are actually can approach them, and it's kind of a referral program. However, we are working on the system to make it more localized. Even today, right now, I was talking to the development team. They are right now working on the two websites, one for my PhD, and the second website that they're working on is for our graduates, to become kind of a Google search engine, that people go to the website, they search like Lahore or Islamabad, and then whoever graduates that we have graduated will be there. It's kind of a helping for you guys to get more clients. Then, of course, there are individual supervisions even after you complete your program, your training in the course. That is going to cost you fees, the individual supervision. But you can go and have a look at the website, pimscourses.com, to see how the cost works out. Then there is also PIMS Mastermind Group. Every first week of the month, every first Saturday of the month, we have a get together online over Zoom, where we discuss, chit chat, if there are challenges that anybody is facing. And number four, last month we started WhatsApp communities. Okay, in that WhatsApp communities, we have five different groups. We have a group for chit chat. We have a group for client discussions. Here we have the WhatsApp community. We have a group for case studies, referrals. You can talk to each other. Opportunities, if you have courses that you want to run. Of course, if you are TOT, you are a TOT graduate from us, you can post there. And then there is a PIMS practice group as well, where the graduates get together and they just practice with each other. I'm going to keep it short and sweet so I can open the floor for more questions. Currently, we are running five courses. So on the platform of PIMS, accredited by GIMP Malaysia, now we have 5 courses. Okay, all of them are 4 months long, 2 hours per week, means 1 day a week. All right. There are 15 lectures, but Mariam has emphasized that she wants to have 16 lectures with CBT. So that's her choice. She will be having 16 lectures. Every other course, the 4 courses, are 15 lectures. Classes are delivered online via Zoom. Printable certificates will be given, condition to assessment. Every course at the end has its own assessment criteria. Very easy to do. No one has ever failed our exams. So once you do that, you get a certificate in HD, in high definition. You can print it yourself and put it in your office if you choose to. If you want if you want us to print for you here at Islamabad, we will TCS you the certificates, and there is a 4,000 additional charges for printing, stamping, and TCS charges. Even if you take all 5 courses together, that's the same charges. If you take one, still pay 4,000. If you take 5, still pay 4,000. Recordings of the lectures will be available for all the courses, and you will have access to them lifetime, forever. You will have lifetime access to the recordings. And study material also will be given to you. Every course has its own study material, and that will be given to you, again, lifetime access. Even right now, before the class, one of our graduates of 2 years ago, Alisha Segal, you can find her in the PIMS graduates groups as well. She just said here, oh, sir, I need the links to DBT and NLP and hypnotherapy. I think she took three. And very quickly, we just posted the links to them. You will have lifetime access to your course material, lifetime access to lectures, lifetime access to PIMS community. Then there is, of course, the prerequisite to all the courses is that having a good understanding of English. And not because the course is not combined. Yes, जो courses है सारे English and Urdu mixed है. The mode of delivery of all the courses English and Urdu mix है. ठीक है, all of the courses English and Urdu mix है, लेकिन course जो material है, जो reading material है, वो इंग्लिश में है. इसीलिए वी आर एम्फेसाइजिंग अ लॉट ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड गुड कंप्रिहेंशन ऑफ इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. ठीक है, कोर्स मटेरियल क्योंकि आप उसको रीडिंग करोगे पर उसको टेस्ट दोगे एट द एंड ऑफ द कोर्स, तो इसीलिए हमने इंग्लिश में ज्यादा एम्फेसाइज किया. अदरवाइज डिलीवरी आज क्योंकि हम एक ब्रॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं लेक्चर को, वी आर डूइंग इट मोस्टली इन इंग्लिश. अदरवाइज द कोर्स इज वेरी one to one, very friendly and open. Usually cameras is on, everybody's cameras are on, everybody can unmute themselves at any time and just ask and interact with the tutor. ठीक है, आज थोड़ा सा क्लोज है क्योंकि ओपन टू पब्लिक है. Okay, so this week, in fact complete this week close ही होगा because we are giving up free demo lectures for all the courses. You guys can join as well. Let's talk about courses and then I'll tell you how to join the free demo classes. Okay, so NLP जो CBT था, trauma informed cognitive behavioral therapy, उसका introduction आपने ले लिया. I just want to touch a little bit about every Tuesdays को क्या होते हैं. Every Monday को, as you saw, will be the trauma informed cognitive behavioral therapy. Every Tuesday we are going to have DBT skills therapy. This is also another certification, the therapeutic certification created by Marshall Lenihan to deal mainly with borderline personality disorder people who have huge emotions, very impulsive, right? So to deal with those, Dr. Marshall Lenihan created the DBT skills. There are 4 skills: life skills of mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal skills. So during the course, if you guys choose to upgrade your CBT subscription and also get certified in DBT, NLP, and hypnotherapy, if you choose to do that, which I recommend, you will understand by the end of the course why. Because eventually everybody takes all the courses, to be honest. So you can upgrade to your subscription now and get the benefit of saving money. So in DBT, I'm going to be teaching you guys these 4 skills. All the courses are focused on your improvement, personal improvement first, and then working with a client. All right. DBT के अंदर 4 skills होते हैं: life skills, mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. ठीक है. अच्छा. Now, listen carefully to the assessment criteria of all the courses. CBT has the same assessment criteria. There will be a demo that you have to submit. Mariam will check and give us to the give the report to the team, and we will give you the certifications. एक फाइनल टेस्ट भी होगा CBT में. So CBT में एक टेस्ट एंड डेमो होगा. But ये सारे डेमो एंड टेस्ट हम क्लास के अंदर पहले करेंगे many times, so we know that you are able to do it when it comes at the end. The assessment of DBT is a demo, एक final test होगा और एक essay होगा. कैसे लिखना है essay? We are going to talk about it during the course. You don't have to worry. मैं आपको इतना गारंटी करता हूँ कि अगर आप four courses, if you're taking 4 courses, some of you are, I know Abhiha is taking 4 courses. I know just last night I think one participant joined also on taking 4 courses, and some of you are taking 4 courses. This is a guarantee that you can manage time, especially first month. बड़ा slowly हम आपको gear 1 में डाल के फिर gear 4 में आपको लेके जाएंगे fast pace में. So DBT के बारे में ये है. Then the third course is professional therapy certification, PHC. The way that I teach PHC is actually a clinical approach, right? I'm a psychologist. I don't come from mind sciences. I don't come from like an engineer or something, who a poor businessman who said कि okay चलो हम healing की तरफ जाते हैं नहीं. I was depressed myself in 2005, suicidal in 2005, and then worked on myself, learned a lot of techniques and tools and mindsets. Then later on, I realized wo techniques and tools was actually NLP key approaches. If you know Tony Robbins, I watched him and read his books, and that's how I overcame my own depression. So by 2007, I decided, okay, now I want to get into psychology. So 7 11, I then completed my graduation, and then I started seeing clients since 2011. By the way, everything that we claim in the course is science-backed and evidence-focused, okay? If there is something that we claim in the course, when I say we, means our team, me and Mariam and anybody else in Pakistan Student, we are very much science-focused, okay? As a PhD scholar myself, Mariam is now going to start her PhD journey as well. Good luck to her. We are very much science focused. So none of mumbo jumbo or mind reading or patani, jo telepathy वगैरह. We are going to debunk all of those things. We're going to get into science and teach you guys how you can do these things in a proper manner, in a therapeutic manner. We use hypnotherapy in a Milton Ericksonian manner, scientific approach. Hypnosis, I teach it as a suggestibility state, not some supernatural state, but as a suggestibility state where you can do the therapeutic modalities on it. I'm going to teach you to deal with some psychological issues. Of course, I cannot teach everything in the 4 months, but we're going to do the most that we can so that you can see clients successfully. So the goal is right after 4 months, you will be able to open your clinical practice and see clients, not only confidently, but with a licensure as well, with the licenses as well. Assessment क्या है? You have to submit a video, actually 2 videos. ठीक है, वो जब इंट्रोडक्टरी क्लास होगी ना हिप्नोथेरेपी की, हम और इन डेप्थ इस पे बात करेंगे. फाइनल टेस्ट एक होगा एंड केस स्टडीज होंगे. यू हैव टू do interactions with hypnotherapeutic interactions with people and then write case studies. वो एक specific approach है जो आपको सिखाएंगे पहले. हिप्नोथेरेपी की अब 28th बैच की एडमिशन है. एनएलपी लाइफ कोचिंग के लोगो है. एनएलपी लाइफ कोचिंग में क्या है? रिचर्ड बैंडलर वाज द फाउंडर. दे स्टडीड Richard Bandler and John Grinder, they study the connection between language, nervous system, and beliefs. Okay. अच्छा, language आप सोचेंगे क्या मतलब? So language, you see, a very common example that I would give here is someone saying, I'll say, okay, why don't you type in the chat box? Because I know that the chat box, you can, I give you 2 cases. Case number 1, someone comes to you and says, I am depressed. ठीक है, I know both cliche sound कर रहा है, but it's a very good example. Someone comes to you and says, I am depressed. Case number 2, someone comes to you and says, I have depression. Who is more likely to recover? One, I am depressed person, or I have depression person. Most likely, who is there to recover? Nida, of course, is right. उसमें तो कोई doubt नहीं है. Abhiha, so yeah, I have depression. So you already instinctively know why, because the language is a representation. Language is an anchor, is a representation of an internal core value system. I am depressed shows you that the identity of the person is I am, मैं हूँ, right? So for example, I am a boy. You cannot convince me I am a girl, right? I am 38 years of life. I know a boy. I know what I am and who I am, right? Then, so you say where the other one says I have depression, it's like I have a phone, you can snatch it, then I don't have a phone. You get it? Something like that. There's an emphasis in language in NLP, but also the images on the mind, how you interpret the mind are very important. Honestly, NLP is my favorite one. I am a little bit biased because my own depression was, recovered with NLP. लेकिन मैं आपको ये भी बताऊं, जब anxiety की बात आती है, हिप्नोथेरेपी से ज्यादा मजेदार कुछ नहीं. If you feel anxious and overwhelmed, hypnotherapy is for you. इस पे हमने बात कर लिया. अच्छा, हम एक एडिशनल जो कराते हैं ओनली वंस ए ईयर. I teach it personally, and you have seen my style of training. I teach it. The course is called Training of Trainers. I handpick, for example, Mariam joined a TOT. First, she graduated from all of her courses. Then she joined the TOT, got trained how to become a trainer. You train how to teach. Not only teach, that's half. उसके एक part है training देना सीखना. ना सिर्फ online, बल्कि in person corporate trainings में. If you know me, 2017 से मैंने कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनिंग्स में काफी काम किया है. इफ यू गो टू माय लिंक्डइन, जस्ट टाइप इब्राहिम सियावश, यू विल सी अ लॉन्ग लिस्ट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स, कंपनीज, यूनिलीवर, वर्ल्ड बैंक, देन छोटे वाले बुलेशा पैकेजेस, पैकेजिंग, देन पैकेजेस मॉल में मैंने काम किया है. You have seen, you see, if you go to LinkedIn, just say Ibrahim Siavash, you can see the complete list of my clients. So bringing that corporate experience, bringing that experience of teaching how to deliver a message. एक तो ये है ना कि आपके माइंड में एक स्किल है, आपको पता है एक चीज, लेकिन उसको सिखाना कैसे, हाउ टू ट्रांसफर दिस नॉलेज, नॉट जस्ट नॉलेज बट प्रैक्टिस. दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू नीड ट्रेनिंग फॉर. तो टीओटी की हाफ पार्ट ट्रेनिंग देना सिखाना है, एंड देन सेकंड पार्ट इज ट्रेनिंग सेल करना. ऑल ऑफ यू आर हियर बिकॉज आई सक्सेसफुली सोल्ड यू द कोर्स. So if I convinced you to join this course, I can teach you guys to sell your courses as well. So that is the goal of TOT. It happens only once a year. Once a year, October batch में. अभी आप जो ले रहे हैं, what you are taking admission in is June to September, 4th month. September के अंदर admissions open होंगे next cohort का, October to January का. And that's the only time you can take part in and become a certified trainers. हमारा वेबसाइट रिवैम्प हो रहा है इन 1 month, मे बी इन जुलाई, मैक्सिमम बाय अगस्त. द न्यू वेबसाइट दैट वी विल लॉन्च, pimscourses.com, the new website, we will also give accreditation to the students that have already trained with us. 2 cohorts of trainers हमने complete किया है. वो हमारे पास अभी उनकी trainers की एक complete list है, about 10 to 12 trainers hai. We will put their names on the training on the website. So for example, Mariam is one of our trainers. She can also teach you any of our courses. You can just go head to head directly. So she is accredited to teach any of our courses. ठीक है. Details of course we will discuss after your question. Okay, so this is a list that I want everybody to screenshot. So days change, but timings, slots remain the same. 7 to 9 p.m. will remain the same. ठीक है? This 7 to 9 p.m. will remain the same. Take a screenshot. 7 to 9 p.m. slot remains the same. Everything else changes. Like Monday ko we have CBT, Tuesday ko DBT, Wednesday ko hypnotherapy, Thursday ko NLP. फिलहाल तो फ्राइडे को कुछ नहीं है, बट अगर होता तो फ्राइडेज को train the trainers होता. Mainly, I want you guys to take a screenshot of the fee structure, because this is very important for part for you guys, especially if you want to take multiple courses. Just imagine and calculate. I want you guys to calculate the level of savings that you will be saving. So like, for example, one course, if you are taking as a student, who is a student? Someone with a valid student card. We have PhD students here. No student card available, but you give us the screenshot of your enrollment of your profile. Still, you are considered. Like any evidence that you are currently a student, you've paid a student fee. Okay? So abhi aap dekhiye, this is monthly 12,000. Now, if you are taking, for example, 4 courses, that would be 12,000 into 4, right? So means what? 8 48,000, but then you'll be paying only 30,000. Means you will be saving how much? If you're taking a bundle, you will be saving 18,000 per month. Then multiply that by 4 months then. Okay? And if you are taking it as most of you are taking now, with the non-student fee, most of your professionals in the class, dispatch, if you're taking one course, 17,000, now then let's multiply that 17 into 4. All right? You can just calculate and understand the level of savings that you will be having, no? 68, for example, and then will be charging you only 50. That is again 18,000 saving multiplied by 4, 72,000 you will be saving. Even if you are a student or if you are a professional, you will be saving. This is a complete saving, because after each course you will be getting your license to see clients. ठीक है, that's it. Mainly मैंने आपको ये fee structure सिखाना था because a lot of people keep asking the same questions again and again, again and again. So I wanted you guys to have a look at these prices here. Okay, now put your questions in the question box, in the chat box, and you can take a screenshot. I will answer your questions now. This is it. We have done the orientation. You have seen the trauma-informed CBT lecture 1, and we are done. All right? Technically, today we are done. The first week is an easy week. ठीक है? आहिस्ता आहिस्ता from the second week चीजें serious होते जाएंगे और फिर आपको तब अभी फिलहाल हाँ, by the way, you everyone can join, technically can join all the 4 classes. आज आपने ज्वाइन कर लिया, आपने सैंपल ले लिया कि ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म सीबीटी के अंदर क्या होता है, कौन क्या टॉपिक्स है, क्या कंसर्न्स है, क्या स्टाइल है. कल आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो डीबीटी, उसके बाद आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो एनएलपी, उसके बाद आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो एनएलपी को, एंड देन वी कैन गेट सैंपल होने के बाद थर्सडे से ऑनवर्ड्स then nothing is public. Then we are closed for the next 4 months. ठीक हो गया? अभी one way interaction है. I understand. अभी one way interaction है because this is a public platform right now and we want to keep it civil. So we live in Pakistan and you know a lot of things have to be enforced, you know. So questions. Nida कह रही है, do you have plans to make hypnotherapy course as trauma informed hypnotherapy? Okay, so Nida, trauma informed is kind of my whole personality. ठीक है, I suffered from CPTSD, called the complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which was actually the root cause of my depression in 2005. So as far as hypnotherapy goes, any kind of a course that I teach is trauma informed. However, inshallah, very soon we are going to launch the first ever. बताऊं, announce करूं? I think it's premature, but चलो कर लेता हूं. We are going to launch for the first time in history a therapeutic approach called cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy. ठीक है, उसकी कंटेंट रेडी है, उसकी स्लाइड सिर्फ डिजाइन करना है, एंड इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट बैच में इसी हिप्नोथेरेपी को अपग्रेड करके हम करेंगे cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy. And those of you who have done hypnotherapy in the previous batches, you can also join us and become a CBH therapist. ठीक हो गया? Trauma informed. देखिए, सीबीटी के साथ, सीबीटी के अंदर हमने इंजेक्ट क्यों किया ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म्ड को? बिकॉज सीबीटी वाज a little dry. I'm trained in CBT also, but it was a little dry, a little non-human. That's why with Mariam we got together and we created this approach, make it trauma focused. Any questions? keep going and ask your questions. I'm here to answer maybe the next 5 minutes, and then we will end the class early today. It's okay. First week है, इतना serious नहीं है. Public classes है. We will do that. I see you guys in the second week. Second week serious class है, ठीक है? हम डेप्थ में जाएंगे, एक दूसरे को जानेंगे, पहचानेंगे, ठीक है? हिप्नो ये निदा आप बिल्कुल आप लगा सकते हो, ठीक है? ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म्ड हिप्नोथेरेपिस्ट आप नाम लगा लें. इफ यू आर आल्सो ट्रेन्ड इन ट्रॉमा आप लगा लें. दैट्स कंप्लीटली अप टू यू. अगर पिम से कोई पूछेगा, अगर आपको कोई चेक करे कि आप ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म्ड हिप्नोथेरेपिस्ट, अगर आप लिखेंगे ऐसे ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म्ड हिप्नोथेरेपिस्ट फ्रॉम पिम्स, फिर हमारे वेबसाइट पे इस तरह कोई वो नहीं होगा ना, वही कोई ऐसा कोर्स नहीं है, फिर वो आपकी क्रेडिबिलिटी डाउट में आएगा. हाँ, इफ यू डोंट मेंशन पिम्स पब्लिकली एंड से कि अच्छा जी ट्रॉमा इन्फॉर्म्ड हिप्नोथेरेपिस्ट, फाइन, आपकी मर्जी है. ओके, अच्छा जी. I'm here to answer all your question, technical questions. So basically four courses है. ज़्यादा courses means ज़्यादा savings, ज़्यादा trainings. Okay, Ifra, I would like to enroll in a CBT course as well. Other than the other three courses, is there room? Yes, we can absolutely adjust you. आपको मैं अभी next slide में number दिखाऊंगा, बल्कि अभी दिखा देता हूँ. Okay, now if you want to upgrade, इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले ले प्लीज. मैं चेंज कर रहा हूँ 1, चेंज कर रहा हूँ स्लाइड को 2, 3. ओके, ऑलराइट, सही. आप इस पे व्हाट्सएप करें, पिम्स का नंबर पे व्हाट्सएप करें. आप बता दें कि आप अपग्रेड करना चाह रही हो एफ्रा. अगर यहाँ से क्विक रिस्पांस नहीं मिलता तो आप मुझे मेरे पर्सनल नंबर पे करें. ओके, आई विल मेक श्योर के आपको क्विकली इनरोल करें. ओके, सो वो डिफरेंस आपने पे करनी होती है, व्हाट्सएप करेंगे तो आपको एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा. Which one is more beneficial, CBT or DBT? आपके दोनों हाथों में से, दोनों आंखों में से कौन सा ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल अरुष? दैट्स माय आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? आपकी दोनों आंखों में से ज्यादा बेनिफिशियल कौन सा है? ठीक हो गया. हाँ, ओके, थैंक यू. यू वेलकम निदा, थैंक यू फॉर योर अप्रिशिएशन. यू हैव मैसेज मी पर्सनल नंबर पे है इफ्रा. मैं देखता हूँ, ठीक है. Both being preferable, that's the correct answer. So you cannot choose. मेरा जो पर्सनल एडवाइस है, बैच पूरे हो चुके हैं, ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं आपको अपसेल कर रहा हूं और आप नहीं आएंगे तो कोर्स नहीं होगा, ठीक है? बैचेस पूरे हो चुके हैं, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स क्रिएटेड हो चुके हैं, एंड देन क्लासेस हो रही हैं. ऑलराइट, सो यू वांट, अब मैं अगर आपकी जगह होता एज ए स्टूडेंट, मैं अगर आपकी जगह होता और ऐसे मेरी अपॉर्चुनिटी मेरे सामने होता जहां पे मैं इतने मल्टीपल कोर्सेज में मल्टीपल ट्रेनिंग्स एक ही बारी में एक गो में सेम 4 मंथ्स लगा के कर सकता था. देखिए, पिछला 4 मंथ्स में 2 ईद आए थे, राइट? फिर भी लोगों ने कोर्सेज कर लिया. नेक्स्ट 4 मंथ्स में कोई ईद नहीं है, कोई छुट्टी नहीं है, कोई पब्लिक हॉलीडे नहीं है. सो मैं आपकी जगह होता, अगेन दिस इज माय स्टाइल, मैं आपकी जगह होता 4 मंथ्स डेडिकेटेड लगा के कर लेता. बिकॉज उसके बाद देन वर्ल्ड वाइड लाइसेंस टू प्रैक्टिस, वर्ल्ड वाइड यू कैन प्रैक्टिस. ठीक हो गया? ओके, आई हैंग ऑन a few more minutes for a few questions. Thank you for providing side. My pleasure, Arus. अभी आप पूछे, last I did 3 stages in hypnotherapy in 2022 and the rest was not allowed to do during the course. During, if you start trauma informed hypnotherapy, then can we practice the rest ones too? Okay, अभी हाँ, sorry आपका दिल तोड़ने के लिए, but I'm a very straight shooter. Anybody who sells you a training in levels, ठीक है, लेवल्स में आपको सिखा रहे हैं, वो आपसे सिर्फ पैसे लेना चाह रहे हैं, सीधी सी बात है। लेवल्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं होती। What we teach you is one course fits all. If I'm taking you 4 months through a hypnotherapy training, I'm taking you from no knowledge, कि आपको पता ही नहीं क्या होता है subconscious mind, until you can see the clients now, ठीक है। उसमें कोई लेवल नहीं है। जो दूसरे लेवल 2 है, लेवल 3 है, लेवल 4 है, वो सिर्फ बिजनेस के मॉडल है। दैट्स नॉट फॉर हीलिंग और थेरेपी, दैट्स फॉर बिजनेस। ठीक हो गया, सीधी सी बात है। Again, that's my personal opinion. That's what I feel. That's what my experience has been practicing since 2011 and seeing and teaching these courses since 2016. Any more questions? Okay, so I can see there are no more questions. For the last time, I'm going to display the phone number of PIMS and my own personal phone number here on the screen. You can approach. You can, if you want to ask more question. इस तरह नहीं लिखा जा रहा है. All right. This is my own personal number. Now, you can or you don't. It's your life. I don't know. That's your choice. Do whatever you like with it. Take it, don't take it. That's completely up to you. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. And as we go through the cohort, we lock it on Thursday. No more admissions allowed and after Thursday. Acha ji, Rabia said I have done DBT. NLP from Rabia, I know I have lost my access to Udemy. Can I get it again? Of course. Rabia, send your certificate. Send your certificate along with whatever you need to the email address. ठीक है, मैं आप खुद नहीं देख रहे छोटी छोटी चीजों को, ठीक है। Send it to this email address with your certificate so that हमें पता है कि आप एक्चुअली में ग्रेजुएट है। सेंड इट कि आपको क्या चाहिए, किस चीज का एक्सेस चाहिए, लाइफ टाइम एक्सेस हमने गारंटी किया है, आपको मिल जाएगा। ईमेल करें, आपको मिल जाएगा, ठीक है। गुड, दैट आंसर्स योर प्रॉब्लम राबिया। आई थिंक इट इज राबिया, जहां तक मुझे याद आ रहा है। Nida कह रही है, Abhiha, honestly in professional practice you don't need to achieve stages. Thank you, Nida. Nida is a practicing hypnotherapist, ठीक है, and she's pretty good at it, right? The tone she has mastered very well. तो चलो, निदा ने तो मेरी तारीफ नहीं की, मैंने कर दिया निदा की। गुड, ओके। Abhiha कह रही है, actually I'm about to revise all of them, so asking. Okay, good luck. आयत रबिया, आई थिंक ऑलराइट। सी, आप कम्युनिटी में भी पोस्ट कर सकती हो रबिया, जो पिम्स कम्युनिटी उधर भी पोस्ट कर सकती हो, शायद आपके कोई ग्रेजुएट आपकी हेल्प कर ले। अदरवाइज ईमेल में मैंने आपको बता दिया। गुड टू गो। I am going to thank you so much. I say this in all interviews that my teacher no. Thank you very much. ठीक है, ठीक है। I was fishing for compliments. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed Trauma Informed CBT class today and the orientation of PIMS and Global Institute of Modern Psychology, Malaysia. I'll be seeing you tomorrow for DBT. Reach out so we can include you. Stay in touch on all social media, especially Instagram and WhatsApp stories for the links to tomorrow's lecture. Take care of yourself. Wonderful being with you guys.